This is Amanda Sue Briggs with Lawyers Title, and I wanted to tell you guys about a very cool new tool that we have exclusive for our Lawyers Title clients. So where I am right now, this is a new tool called Title Toolbox, and you can get to it by going to lawyerstitlettbaz.com. So that's lawyerstitlettbaz.com. What this tool is it has a ton of information in here, as well as the ability to find potential leads in this system as well. So at the heart of it, it is a tax record search. So what I can do is I go right up here into search for an address, enter in an address here. I have all of these options. I can pull a net sheet for this property. When I pull a net sheet for this property, it's going to give me a couple of things. One thing it gives me is the overhead kind of aerial view, so I can take a look, move around, take a look at what this neighborhood looks like. And then I've got the Google Street View over here as well. And then right down below is your net sheet. So a few things that this does for you. One, the closing costs that it puts in here, these are pulling directly from our Lawyers Title escrow database. And so these are going to be your actual fees, plus or minus a little bit for error, of this transaction were it to sell. Now up here, you notice in sales price, it has a value in here of $289,000. So this sales price is actually using a product called CoreLogic. It's using their data to come up with an estimated value of the property. So that's actually for today's market. That's not what it sold for last time. This home isn't currently on the market. So that is truly what the estimated value in today's dollars is. So without even having to run comps on this property, without having to really do a whole lot of research, I can just type in an address, pull up a net sheet, make any adjustments I need to, like on the appraisal, pest inspection, home warranty, and then right here at the bottom, it's going to give me that estimated total cash proceeds. So you can start using these net sheets for marketing, especially to your farm areas. If you want to knock on some doors or send out some mailers and let people know what they could actually walk away with if they sold their home, this is a great tool to use. Of course, those estimated proceeds are starting with this sales price, taking out those closing costs, and then you'll notice over here under first loan, it actually estimates the value or the total balance remaining on the loan, again, based on that public record information. Now, another thing that you can do when you're searching for an address is generate a report. So if you start with the property profile, if you've ever requested a listing book or property profile or listing kit from us, you're used to seeing these property profiles. They have a lot of great information in them. You have the option to also pull with that property profile demographic info, school info, or both. So if I do a property profile with demographic and school data and hit generate report, that's going to generate a report for me that looks something like this. So I've got some good information about the property characteristics from tax records, last sale information, assessment and tax info, mortgage records. And then down here we have our school information, so it actually maps out the school district that this property is in. Then gives me some information about the schools, like the teacher to student ratio, some contact info there. Separates them even by public and private schools. And then when we get down further, it's going to give us some demographic data. So we've got some age data in there, gender, income, and then we get down to our comps. So we'll help you actually pull comps and list out the information about those comps as well. Now, another report that is in here is this one down here called a lead sheet. So if I run this lead sheet, what that's going to tell me is it is looking kind of around this property to find potential leads, so people who may have to sell. So you might want to run the lead sheet report from your home address to find people that live near you that you might already know from walking the dogs or being involved in the community who have a certain life event that might prompt them to sell. So if I hit generate report on this one, that's going to give me a report that looks like this. So within 1.5 miles of this address that I put in, here are the life events and the total number of properties, and then even the estimated value and potential commissions of these leads. So we've got 6 bankruptcies, 4 pending litigations, 2 affidavits of death, and then 1 probate case, all within 1.5 miles there. And then again, it breaks down that potential commission. So within this tool, if I wanted to search for these bankruptcies and I wanted to start marketing to those 6 people, or just happen to drop by, happen to be in the area, I can get those exact 6 homeowner addresses, as well as some more detailed information about that life event. Now, within this, you can also do a lot of different reports and things related to a farm area. So I'm going to go over to the left-hand side to this 1, 2, 3 search button. This is a really easy way to start looking at some data. I'm just going to map out a farm area. So we're going to go back to that same address that we've been using. And instead of going in that area, I think I'm just going to go just to the east a little bit here. And I'm going to take this whole block right here, or a couple of blocks. Once I've mapped out that farm area, I can pull up all residential properties in that area. So let's go ahead and start there. And that will load for me all of the data coming from tax records of all homes in that area. Now I did quite a pretty big area. So you'll notice as my results start to load here, we look up in the top right, we've got 3,500 people here. That's quite a few people to market to. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to click on this dynamic stats button. And what this is going to give me is some general information about the average price points in this area that I mapped out, the total number of units, the percentage of non-owner ratio, and very important right over here, the turnover rate. So we typically say here in Arizona, if you're looking for a good neighborhood or area to farm, you really want that turnover rate to be over 6%, ideally around 7 or 8%. So 4.8% isn't the best turnover rate, but this is also 3,000 homes, 3,500 homes, and I'm not going to market to all of them. So what I can do from here is find within this area that I want to market to the most likely sellers. So I have a couple of different ways to do that. One way is by using the next sellers search. So if I go into common queries and I search for possible next sellers, that's going to get me a total of 184 properties. So it drops us down from that 3,500 to just 184. So now I have a much more manageable target of people to reach out to and market to that are designated as potential next sellers. Now another search that you can do, we know from statistics that people who get divorced are 22% of them will end up selling their home within the first 12 months of when they filed. So I can go over into the Premier Data Leads section and search for divorces filed within the last 12 months. And if I hit Get Count on that, now I have 4 properties who have filed for divorce, the owners have filed for divorce in the last 12 months. And you can see that those records are just 50 cents per record. So for $2, I can get all of the information about these 4 properties and then start marketing to them because I know that they're, again, 22% of them are going to sell within those first 12 months. So I have a little bit of a better target to market to. There is a ton of data in this tool. One of the things that I really love is that if you are looking to start farming, you can give it a broad area like anywhere in Scottsdale, and it can break down a list for you of the best neighborhoods to farm based on their average price points, as well as that turnover ratio, which again should be over 6.5%, 7% here in Arizona. So there's a lot of great info in here. I don't want to go through the entire shebang of everything that you can get, but if you have any questions about it, please feel free to reach out to your lawyer's title sales rep and they can get you set up with an account if you don't have one already, and we're always happy to come out and do demos for you as well.